Tonight on CTV News, mysterious death of a teenager.
When you met her, did you know that she was only 16 years old?
New details about the final hours of a 16-year-old girl's life. An exclusive CTV interview with a man who was with her.
What we don't support, what I don't support, is taxpayers paying for another publicly owned pipeline.
The premier pushes back. He says taxpayers should subsidize an oil refinery instead.
I just remember coming to and, shaking and feeling nauseous.
Champion rower Silken Lauman speaks out about a near-death experience after a severe allergic reaction.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the latest on the mysterious death of a 16-year-old North Vancouver girl. She was found dead in an East Vancouver rooming house a week ago, and police so far have revealed few details. CTV's Ben Milger has been working on the story. Ben, you spoke with a man who spent time with the teenager before she died.
That's right, Mi Jung. I managed to get him on the phone and tried to get some information about how he met the girl, what they did during their time together, and how she died. He did not give us all the answers we were looking for, but he did provide a lot of new details about the missing teen's final hours. After she was reported missing last Monday evening, paramedics found the 16-year-old girl dead inside this house on East Pender on Tuesday morning. This man, Baydad Mabad, tells me he met the girl at Lonsdale Quay, and together they went to the downtown east side. It's not clear how long they were there or what they did, but eventually they wound up in the room he rents at the East Pender house. He muttered a lot throughout our phone conversation, and it was difficult to pin him down on some of the details. He told me at the time he met the girl, he had been up for 5 or 6 days straight.
Were you guys drinking and doing drugs in the house?
No, we weren't. There's smoking cigarettes in that too.
When you met her, did you know that she was only 16 years old?
To me, she was 23, 24 years old.
Okay.
To me, she was 5'8", 5'9", 23. The way she spoke and handled herself.
Much of the conversation was difficult to understand and decipher due to the man's mumbling. He did tell me he was the person who called 911 to report the girl in medical distress, but claims he does not know how she died. The man also says he has not spoken to police since the day the girl died, but claims he was cooperative at that time, sharing cell phone photos and videos, as well as his call history. As the investigation continues, VPD has not announced if they think the girl died as a result of a crime. Mi Jung?
All right, thanks for this update, Ben. The push for a new pipeline to BC is ramping up in the wake of the U.S. attack on Venezuela. Proponents say a new pipeline to access overseas markets is now even more critical, given Donald Trump's vow to access Venezuela's vast oil resources. But Premier David Eby says billions of tax dollars should go to a different oil project. CTV's Rob Buffum reports.
Everybody, nice to see you.
In his first news conference of the new year, Premier Eby fielded multiple questions about mounting pressure to support a new pipeline to BC's coast. Pressure triggered by revelations the U.S. may potentially have access to cheaper Venezuelan oil. Pressure he pushed back on.
There is still no private sector proponent. There's nobody who wants to build it from the private sector.
The capture of President Nicolas Maduro and U.S. President Trump's pledge to tap Venezuelan oil prompted federal opposition leader Pierre Poilievre to call on the Prime Minister to expedite a pipeline. In a letter to the PM, Poilievre said, every barrel the United States sources from Venezuela could mean one less barrel these refineries would buy from Canada. Carney weighed in from Paris with his ongoing support for the pipeline set out in a memorandum of understanding between Ottawa and Alberta.
A pipeline and exports to Asia. We've got competitive product and we'd be diversifying our markets, and that's one of the reasons why we signed the comprehensive MOU with Alberta.
While Eby continued to reject a new pipeline, he reiterated his support for expanding the capacity of the existing Trans Mountain one. and multiple times Tuesday proposed exploring an oil refinery in BC.
If we're going to do public investment into our resources here in Canada, I think it might be time to pivot that discussion to a refinery. We still buy oil products from the United States.
Evie is trying to sort of predict where this might be going. And if this becomes a debate over public dollars, he's trying to get out in front of that and say there's better uses for those dollars.
Meanwhile, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith was quick to tweet Monday. Recent events surrounding Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro emphasized the importance that we expedite the development of pipelines to diversify our oil exports. Her government launching a website Tuesday with an update on its plan.
Danielle Smith is not going to waste a good crisis to push her point.
A crisis that is already impacting pipeline politics a continent away.
And Rob joins us live from Victoria. So, Rob, when will we know whether the pipeline will indeed go ahead?
Well, that's right, Jung. There's been so much speculation, but July 1st is the deadline by which Alberta must submit its application to the Federal Major Projects Office. So we'll know shortly after that, including whether indeed there is a private company that comes forward that's willing to pay for this project, or if the federal government sort of buckles under growing pressure to contribute some public funds. Jung.
Rob Buffum reporting live tonight from Victoria. Next week, the Premier will undertake his first trade mission of the year with a trip to India. It's part of his government's ongoing strategy to pivot away from reliance on American markets for Canadian products. As Penny Daflos reports, while there may not be direct financial results, there are some benefits to these trips.
Whether it's lumber or the technology sector, the Premier is eager to drum up new deals for BC companies in India.
There is a window of opportunity for British Columbia, which is the leading province in Canada in terms of trade with India, to deepen our relationship and expand the trade that we already do with a country that is going to be the third largest economy in the world.
So with his Punjabi-speaking Economic Development Minister, David Eby will head to India on Monday for a 6-day trade mission.
The relationship is the most important thing. People want to see the Premier. They want to see ministers. They want to see companies go there and build a relationship.
Across the country, work is underway to establish new trading partners outside the U.S.
This is another step in finding our way through what is a pretty difficult time.
Saskatchewan's trade minister has been to half a dozen Asian countries promoting their agricultural sector, as Quebec's premier went to Germany to talk aerospace.
We are partners in commerce. We're partners in culture.
While the Prime Minister and his cabinet crisscross the world talking up Canada.
I wouldn't hold my breath that it's going to make any real change in trading opportunities. At least that's not the evidence that I found in my research.
UBC studies have found trade missions under Jean Chrétien and Christy Clark don't accomplish much. However,
the display of commitment is important.
And BC businesses have had success with Asian markets while taking advantage of our position on the Pacific.
Geography matters, so that's part of it, and the products that we produce matter. So, Asia is fairly hungry for our resources.
It is a long-term project, no question, deepening these relationships, but British Columbia has a significant head start.
Eby and Kalon will meet with business leaders and government officials in 4 Indian cities during their trade mission. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
West Vancouver entrepreneur and former BC Conservative candidate Yuri Fulmer is entering the race to lead the Conservative Party of BC, promising a new direction for the province.
We're riddled with debt. We're running a deficit that's unheard of. We've got more public debt than we ever have. We have a healthcare system in crisis. We have an affordability crisis for British Columbians. We've got issues stacked up to our yin-yang, and we need to fix those. And we need serious people to step in and fix it. This government has failed us.
Fulmer is criticizing the NDP government under David Eby, arguing British Columbians are falling behind, adding that his experience creating jobs and building organizations prepares him to lead the party and the province forward. A community is preparing to say goodbye at a memorial this week for a mother murdered in Merritt. Now there are calls for local governments across the province to do more to prevent intimate partner violence. CTV's Michelle Bernaro has the story.
At the courthouse in Merritt, Christopher Jarvis made a brief appearance Tuesday, charged with the second-degree murder of his wife, Pamela Jarvis, a devoted mother of 6.
There's just not enough words to say how profoundly devastating this is.
Jarvis, who was 45, was killed in this home December 16th, 6 days after she reportedly contacted Merritt RCMP concerned for her life. A friend says she wanted a separation from her husband.
It's just heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Battered Women's Support Services, which is closely following the court case into Jarvis's tragic death, says since 2023, it's been calling on BC's municipal governments, including mayor and council in Merritt, to do more to stop gender-based violence.
We think it's urgent. We think they have a role to play, and we think that they're well positioned to lead in local communities.
She says local governments should launch public awareness campaigns and designate a staff person to coordinate actions.
How come nobody in municipalities, and I'm talking nobody, is prioritizing intimate partner violence and sexualized violence as a key issue in order to respond to in their communities?
Merritt's mayor was not available for an on-camera interview, but told CTV by email council has asked BWSS to speak to their council about how we can work together to affect meaningful change. The mayor says Merritt has also been calling on the province for better funding for victim services for years. Meanwhile, the IIO, the police watchdog in BC, continues to investigate whether police action or omissions contributed to Jarvis's death, a review triggered by the Battered Women's Support Services after it raised questions about whether police decisions made things worse. Christopher Jarvis is in custody and returns to court later this month. On Friday, the community will remember the life of Pamela Jarvis at a public memorial. Michelle Bernoro, CTV News, Vancouver.
RCMP and Kamloops have deemed a sudden death in the city's West End as a homicide. Mohammed Ash Zafar was found dead inside a house after police were asked to check on the man's well-being on Monday. Investigators say the incident appears to be isolated with no ongoing risk to the public. Should city tax dollars be used to buy grocery stores? One Vancouver mayoral candidate says it could help bring down food costs. CTV's Kevin Chirac looks at the proposal and why current mayor Ken Sim thinks it's ridiculous.
For decades, Sunrise Market has been a staple of the downtown east side.
It's well priced.
They are very good in price and in quality as well.
Long seen as a cost-friendly option, but it's now up for sale.
It's something that I think the neighborhood really relies on, so it'd be unfortunate, obviously, if it is sold.
When it sells or what the buyer does with it is unclear, but one mayoral candidate in the upcoming Vancouver election has a proposed solution using taxpayer dollars.
The plan would be that the city would purchase a place like Sunrise Market, but the community would run it. So it's not going to be run by the government. It's going to actually be run by a nonprofit group.
With the city facing financial pressures, we asked one city candidate, Amanda Burrows, why a grocery store should be a priority for taxpayers.
It is the government's responsibility to protect food costs. I mean, the city buys land for community services, et cetera and so forth. Why are we not treating food as an essential city infrastructure?
Vancouver Liberal candidate Kareem Alam agrees City Hall can play a role, but with a different strategy.
She has her approach of wanting to use taxpayer money to buy grocery stores. My approach is to take surplus land and donate it to not-for-profits.
When asked about Burrow's plan, Mayor Ken Sim told CTV News, "Our job is filling potholes, investing in public safety, and picking up garbage, not selling tomatoes. This is a ridiculous policy that I do not support." Adding, "The steps that improve affordability are those already taken by the ABC majority on council, including delivering a 0% property tax increase." Vote Vancouver candidate Rebecca Bly did not respond to our request for comment before deadline. The election is set for October 17th. Meantime, shoppers at Sunrise Market brace for a future without their go-to grocery store.
It's going to be a big loss. Yes, it's going to be a big loss.
Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
Expectant parents in South Surrey and White Rock will have to make other plans. Another maternity diversion has been announced at Peace Arch Hospital. It's the second time this has happened in as many weeks as Fraser Health continues to deal with staffing shortages. The health authority says the latest maternity diversion at the hospital will run from 7 a.m. Thursday to 8 a.m. Monday. Expectant parents are being asked to call the maternity unit first if they're in labor or have pregnancy concern so staff can direct them to the appropriate hospital. The health authority adds that it's actively recruiting to address ongoing staffing challenges. It's been gray and rainy here in the city, but it's a different story on the local mountains where there has been a total turnaround since the slow start to the ski season. With more, here's CTV's Dimitra Maragos.
While rainy conditions like this may make it difficult for those in Metro Vancouver, the crews up at Mount Seymour say these types of conditions open up the possibilities on the mountain. While Metro Vancouver may look like this, with 30 to 40 millimeters of rainfall expected throughout the region Tuesday.
This morning period where the heaviest precipitation is expected.
It's left Mount Seymour looking like this.
It's a wonderful day, beautiful day. It's awesome. It's super powdery.
The snowfall bringing the mountain to new heights.
I think we have about 40 centimeters so far and a lot more in the forecast. So what a great start to the ski season.
Which is exactly what mountain goers are asking for.
I hope it dumps and I hope the snow gets lower.
Environment Canada says the snowfall is playing catch up.
We're really starting to build that North Shore snowpack that we haven't really built upon over the past couple months.
With flurries flying, snowboarders and skiers are locked in on breaking in newly opened runs.
All this fresh snow allows us to open up more of the glades and more of the steeper terrain.
Crews say there's no reason to sit around with conditions like this.
And there's 1,000 different reasons for coming skiing, but this weekend's going to be really good.
But whether you're making it up to Mount Seymour or on the Sea to Sky Highway, BC Highway Patrol says safety should always be top of mind.
Make sure your vehicle's equipped for these winter conditions.
Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Burnaby.
Let's head outside and take a look at Burrard Street. The roads are still damp from all that rain that we had earlier, and at least the rain looks like it stopped for now.
Yes, it is dry right now, but as Dimitra mentioned, lots of snow on our local mountains. So here's a look at our ski report right now. Grouse Mountain saw 54 centimeters of snow in the last 24 hours, 20 centimeters for Cypress, and Mount Seymour saw 38 centimeters of snow. More on the way as we head into tomorrow. Overnight, we'll see cloudy skies dropping down to 3, and because we are down near that, hovering around that freezing mark into tomorrow morning for your early morning commute, wet snow expected at higher elevations once again, slowly transitioning over into showers as we head into afternoon with a high of 6.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
More rain in the forecast, and it looks like it's going to stick around. I've got those details coming up.
Yeah, so we can't actually see the snow on the mountains until the skies actually turn blue, right?
Exactly.
You have to head up there.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Ann. Well, Olympic rower Silken Laumann opens up about a terrifying experience that nearly killed her. Also ahead.
Dad, could you just straighten out your legs there?
Impossible.
Just straighten out your legs.
Straighten up my knees for the front.
Flying frustration. The video of being squished on a WestJet flight went viral. How the airline is responding to the lack of legroom. When CTV News at 6 continues. Stay with us. Police in Langley are asking for help finding a man who hasn't been seen for 2 weeks. 28-year-old Logan Svensrud was reported missing on December 22nd. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact their local police. WestJet is in the hot seat tonight over its cramped seats. When an Edmonton family posted video about being squished on a recent flight, it touched a nerve. Now we hear from the airline about its controversial cabin redesign that adds more seats but squeezes passengers. CTV's Stephanie Thomas has more on the changes.
Dad, could you just straighten out your legs there?
Impossible.
When the Schmidts booked their winter vacation to the Caribbean last month, one of their connecting flights from Edmonton to Toronto felt short of legroom.
It was shocking to get in there and then have my dad, who is 6'3", so he's tall, but not like abnormal human height, physically not be able to fit in the seat.
Amanda Schmidt posted the video online of her parents with their knees knocking the seat backs in front of them. It's been viewed over 1 million times. The Calgary-based carrier says it's changing cabin configuration to offer different prices for seat selection. In a statement, WestJet says these aircraft accommodate an extra row by varying seat pitch between 38 and 28 inches. 21 aircraft have completed the redesign. WestJet also says we are closely monitoring guest and employee feedback to assess the product's performance, comfort, and suitability.
They're forcing you to upgrade, basically, if you want to be able to safely fit in your seat.
An air passenger rights expert says offering adequate space for passengers is required under the contract of carriage. And just because the airplanes can add more seats with less room doesn't mean they should.
The ultimate obligation of the airline is to provide a seat that a passenger can fit into. That's the fundamental legal obligation here. It's not a question of how many inches it's not a question of whether a seat is particularly comfortable.
Although Schmid's father was moved to a section with more legroom before takeoff, she and her mom, at 5'11" and 5'10" foot tall, said they remained in their tight squeeze. Schmid says she has not heard from WestJet directly about her video.
I would be happy to support a different airline that maybe takes more consideration to, human well-being.
Air Transat pilots have voted overwhelmingly to ratify new collective agreement. The 5-year deal includes raises of more than 50% for most of the airline's 750 pilots. The company says the agreement acknowledges the progress that was needed to catch up to the industry. She overcame almost impossible odds to win an Olympic medal for Canada more than 30 years ago. And now rowing legend Silken Laumann is sharing the story of how she nearly lost her life last year. As CTV's Shannon Patterson reports, it all started with a sting from a wasp.
As Canadian Olympic rowing legend Silken Laumann rang in the new year, she knew it was time to share the story of how her life nearly ended in 2025.
I wasn't ready to do this until I felt comfortable talking about it without feeling that little bit of shock and sort of trauma by telling the story.
The 3-time Olympic medalist moved from Victoria to New Zealand in 2022, and a year later was surprised when she experienced an allergic reaction to a wasp sting.
I've been stung by many wasps and probably some bees, and I'm outside all the time. I live outside. So when I had an extreme reaction 2 years ago, that was really shocking to me. And the doctor who saw me in emergency said, well, you might want to carry an EpiPen.
In February 2025, as she was heading out for a day hike with family,
my husband, just as I was leaving, was like, oh, you should probably take your EpiPen. So I grabbed it, put it in my fanny pack.
Laumann felt a wasp sting her back, and within a minute, she was on the ground. She lost consciousness just as her brother administered the EpiPen.
And I just remember coming to and, shaking and feeling nauseous and sweating. And I just knew right away, I said, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here because I'm going to have a second reaction.
While they waited for emergency services, Laumann felt her life slipping away.
I collapsed again. And I just thought, wow, this is unexpected. I really didn't think I would die this way.
Laumann had faced severe adversity before. She nearly lost her leg in a horrific rowing accident in 1992. Against all odds, 10 weeks later, she came back to win a bronze medal at the Barcelona Olympics.
The mindset to know that you're going to make it and to believe that you're going to make it and to push yourself and to be clear thinking. That was all laid foundationally by being a high-level athlete, and it never leaves you.
A rescue helicopter arrived just as Laumann suffered another anaphylactic attack. Medics saved her life.
I think there's been some really clear learnings there for me. You can have an allergic reaction any time in your life. You can have an anaphylaxis any time in your life.
The biggest lesson for anyone with an allergy?
If you don't have an EpiPen, you will die. That's how it ends.
Laumann's near-death experience has given the 61-year-old a new appreciation for life.
Getting old is a privilege. I almost didn't get more time. I don't want to waste it.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
The U.S. is threatening again to annex Greenland, a Danish territory. We hear from the Prime Minister. Also ahead.
At that time, I was just in shock and so scared.
A cruel scam targets the family of a Calgary woman missing since June. How criminals used AI to terrify the family. Ahead on CTV News at 6. A Calgary woman desperate to find her missing sister has been the target of heartless scammers. Deanna Erickson vanished last year. Someone recently sent her sister a disturbing AI-generated photo of the missing woman over social media and demanded Bitcoin for her return. CTV's Jacqueline Wilson reports.
Shelby Erickson won't give up hope. Her sister, missing since last spring, is alive.
She always was such a loving person and caring person. Like, she cared for all animals and all people.
Deanna Erickson was last seen getting off of a bus near the Shoppers Drug Mart in Walden on June 6th around 11 p.m., seeming disoriented. Shelby thinks she asked a stranger for a ride home.
Deanna didn't just take off, or she didn't just vanish. Like, she has to, someone knows something, and they're just not coming forward.
Police say the case remains open, and Shelby frequently posts about her search on social media. And that's where, in December, someone tried to scam her out of $10,000. The fraudsters used artificial intelligence to make a fake picture of Deanna tied up and being held hostage in a van, and told her to send them the money through Bitcoin or they'd kill her.
At that time, I was just like in shock and so scared, and I was going to go to the police right away.
Police say artificial intelligence has become an increasing problem, and missing person cases are a target.
We're starting to see in missing persons cases where victims are being contacted by criminals who are trying to extort them out of funds. With the AI images increasing and getting so sophisticated and so good, it is so important to be very skeptical of any images you see online.
The Prime Minister is in Paris today for an international summit and pledged his support for Greenland, a territory of Denmark. He made the comments ahead of a meeting with the Danish Prime Minister.
The future of Greenland and Denmark are decided solely by the people of Denmark. In Greenland, we know that.
Mark Carney added Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister and the Governor-General will also visit Greenland next month. Meantime, the White House says U.S. President Donald Trump has been discussing options around acquiring Greenland, including the potential use of the U.S. military, adding that Trump sees acquiring Greenland as a national security priority to deter adversaries in the Arctic region. Greenland has repeatedly said it does not want to be part of the United States. Tensions are high in Caracas, where gunfire erupted overnight and armed military police now patrol the streets. Lawmakers continue to be split over the military raid that captured Nicolas Maduro, as U.S. President Donald Trump insists that he's now in charge of Venezuela. Maria Machado, the democratically elected opposition leader who is in hiding, has praised Trump's actions and has vowed to return home. But the Trump administration supports Maduro's hand-picked vice president as leader, saying the U.S. can work with her.
The initial hopes that the departure of Maduro might represent a change in this hated regime have been dashed, seemingly endorsed by the United States, a woman who's got significant amounts of blood on her hands.
Trump's national security strategy has rattled several countries, including Colombia and Cuba, as many question what comes next for the people of Venezuela. Actress Jennifer Garner fulfilled her mother's wish for 2026. Why she took her to Yellowknife, and the trip did not disappoint. Also ahead.
This has been the holy grail for a long time.
AI can be controversial, but nobody would have a problem with a robot that does household chores, even folding laundry. That's ahead. A backyard hockey rink on a lake in Quebec is getting a lot of attention thanks to a homemade Zamboni. Chris Flynn has been flooding and caring for the community rink for more than a decade, but it hasn't always been easy keeping the ice smooth. The makeshift Zamboni was built by a neighbor using an old lawnmower, and it uses hot water just like the real thing.
It's a lot of work to maintain the rink on the lake, but every time we got people using it, it's a reward for us.
The machine now rolls out between periods, turning a pickup game into something straight out of an arena. Actress Jennifer Garner rang in the new year in Canada. She wasn't here as part of a movie. Instead, she brought her mom in search of something special.
Just like Mom ordered, right overhead, bright in the sky, bright to the naked eye. Greens and yellows and purples from one side of the sky to the other, dancing overhead.
Garner's mom told her in 2026 she wanted to see the Northern Lights, so they headed to Yellowknife in search of an aurora adventure. They found it on the first night, no less. The sky lit up for them, and Garner says it was the perfect way to bring in the new year. And amazing images, definitely on my bucket list to see that up north.
Yep, you have to go there. We've seen it a couple times here in Vancouver as well, but definitely not as spectacular as that.
Yeah, and to see it here, we have to have clear skies.
Yes, that is right. And we won't be seeing that for quite some time because, yeah, it is gray out there today, very wet. Right now we're seeing dry conditions, as you can see on our satellite radar imagery system moving towards the southeast. We're still seeing some snow, though, for your mountain passes. So if you are traveling to and from the interior, you can expect anywhere between 15 to 30 centimeters of snow through tomorrow. Highway 1, Eagles Pass to Rogers Pass, Kootenay Pass, Highway 3, the Hope Princeton via Allison Pass, and Highway 5, the Coquihalla Highway as well. So this is what we can expect across the south coast as we head through the overnight. It will dry up, mostly cloudy skies into tomorrow morning. For your early morning commute, we will see some light rain. As you can see, higher elevations, we will see that wet snow once again as temperatures drop to 2 degrees. So showers throughout the day tomorrow, slowly ending as we head into tomorrow night. For the central coast, you're looking at light snow as well, 2 to 4 centimeters expected for Bella Coola. Your provincial forecast will be popping up at the bottom of your screen. For Port Hardy, tomorrow, 4 degrees, mostly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers. You will see rain to start off the day for Campbell River and Comox. It clears up quite nicely through the afternoon. Mix of sun and cloud with a high of 5. For the South Island, showers for Tofino and Port Alberni. Early morning showers from Nanaimo right down to Victoria. Mix of sun and cloud through the afternoon with temperatures between 5 and 7. For the Sunshine Coast, gray and wet once again, cloudy with showers and 4 degrees up the Sea to Sky Highway. Squamish, you'll see periods of rain with a high of 3. Light snow up for Whistler with a high of -1. And for us across the Lower Mainland, we will see that rain, snow, wet snow mix at higher elevations for your early morning commute to start off your early morning hours with temperatures between 2 and 6 degrees. It does transition over into showers as we head through the afternoon. Into Thursday, it does dry up. We will see mostly cloudy skies with some sunny breaks in there. For Friday, showers to start off the day, drying up through the afternoon. Into Saturday, starts off dry, but then rain returns in the afternoon, continuing into Sunday. Monday, we will see cloudy skies with some showers, but look at those temperatures bumping up to double digits, 10 degrees for Monday and Tuesday. We'll see cloudy skies with showers both days. Overnight lows at 7, and our normals for this time of year is 6. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacation. So definitely no snow for us at sea level with those warm temperatures heading into next week.
Yeah, unusual for it to get into the double digits in January.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks, Anne.
Welcome.
Robots can do all sorts of things, but doing household chores would be a game changer. We'll show you what one robot is able to do, and
it just flipped us right over. All 7 of us were in the water.
New safety concerns about this type of boat, what officials are saying after CTV spoke with several people who had terrifying experiences. That's coming up.
Time now for tonight's Sky Watch. Red cranes and blue containers brighten up a gray day at the Port of Vancouver.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil down $1.19, ending the day at $57.13 US a barrel. Gold closed more than $44 higher. The TSX and the Dow Jones both made gains on the day, up 187 points and 484 points. We have seen robots that run, dance, and fight, and we keep asking, why aren't they doing our laundry? Well, ask no more. Meet the helpful droid named Cloyd.
My favorite is when Cloyd actually folds the towels. This has been the holy grail for a long time.
LG has unveiled an AI-enabled robot that can fold your laundry. The company claims Cloyd will do your dishes and even put dinner on while you're on the way home. Following stories on CTV News about a new type of boat called a Sea-Doo Switch. Transport Canada launched an investigation into how safe they are. They've updated a safety recall on the boat, and it comes at a time when lawsuits are underway in the U.S. following deaths and injuries. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
The Sea-Doo switch has the power of a Sea-Doo and the seating arrangement of a pontoon boat. Marcus Hurl told CTV News when he was using his with his grandchildren, it started to take on water.
It was like a scoop that was scooping up water into the boat.
Lori and Clyde Rowan said a similar incident happened to them with their Sea-Doo switch.
It just flipped us right over. All 7 of us were in the water.
Paul and Sue DeCucci said their Sea-Doo switch almost sank twice.
Just take the boat back and you work on whatever you need to work on to make this thing seaworthy, because I don't trust it.
This week, Transport Canada updated its website with a safety recall involving the boat, but in a statement said the recall published on the Health Canada website is the same recall issued by BRP. Transport Canada continues to work with the U.S. Coast Guard and BRP to assess whether any further actions are required to address the identified safety risk. In Maine, a law firm is filing a lawsuit against BRP, Bombardier Recreational Products, after 3 people died when a Sea-Doo switch flipped over in August.
The boat started to take on water in the front and then capsized completely, and 3 of the women on the boat were trapped underneath the boat and drowned before anyone could rescue them.
The law firm contends even with a safety recall, the boat is not safe to use.
Obviously, the family deserves compensation. 3 people are dead. They need to change the design of the boat.
Bombardier said in the safety recall, overloading the front of the boat could result in serious injury or death. It also released a safety video.
It may result in the boat nosediving, leading to capsizing.
CTV News reached out to Ontario Sea-Doo switch owners who say they still want refunds for their boats.
We want the full refund from Bombardier.
People have been hurt. People have died. Why would they not just say take them off the market?
BRP told CTV News our riders' safety is our top priority, and we are committed to providing products that are safe and in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A primate prowler enters a pawn shop and goes bananas. Sounds like we've got some serious monkey business still ahead. Plus, stick celebration. Adam shows us why a piece of wood in the Cowichan Valley is inspiring wonder around the world. Coming up on the Sawatsky Sign Off. Right now, here's Reagan Hasagawa with a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
Is Canada entering a pivotal moment when it comes to weight loss drugs? Wednesday on Your Morning Vancouver, why it's about to get easier and less expensive for those who struggle with their weight. Plus, new year, new goals, but where do you even start? A local fitness expert breaks down simple strength moves for every age and fitness level. See you in the morning.
Blue Jays introduced fans to their newest player today, Japanese slugger Kazuma Okamoto. The 29-year-old has signed a 4-year deal worth $60 million U.S. Okamoto has spent 11 seasons with the Tokyo Yomiuri Giants in Japan, hitting at least 30 home runs in 6 straight seasons. He's expected to make an immediate impact to the Jays' offense.
I am very happy to join Blue Jays. I will work hard every day and do my best for the team. Thank you for your support. Nice to meet you. Go Blue Jays.
How cute. The Okamoto acquisition is part of the Jays' bid to make another championship caliber team after Toronto came so close to winning the World Series against LA last fall. With the Winter Olympics fast approaching, a symbol of the Games has arrived in Italy. The Olympic torch relay landed on Italy's eastern coast and has made its way to a mountaintop castle. The relay will span about 12,000 kilometers all around Italy, passing through the 110 provinces ahead of the Games, which begin on February the 6th. Banff National Park's most famous bear, known to many as the Boss, is now the subject of a children's book. The goal is to encourage people to protect nature and understand the challenges bears face.
They're learning about us as much as we're learning about them. And they're playing catch up. We come up with the new things, first were trains. Now we have self-driving vehicles. It's not about being aggressive or dominant. It's about being, moving with confidence, being bear aware and, respecting each other's boundaries.
The fictional tale depicts the celebrity bear at famous sites in Banff. The boss has been the dominant grizzly in the area for more than a decade. The author says her kids love watching bears on national parks' wildlife cameras, which spark many trips and bear sightings, including of the boss himself. He's been dominant for so long.
Yeah.
I wonder if some other grizzlies are wanting to overthrow him.
He's a big guy. I don't know.
But he's going to live forever in that book anyway. Okay, a pawn shop is cleaning up after some serious monkey business when a stolen monkey broke in and left a big mess behind. The shop owner says the monkey named Chester got into the store through a dog key door, of course. The moment all caught on surveillance video. Chester could be seen running around the shop, helping himself to chips and crackers before deciding to smash some computer keyboards.
In my wildest dream, could not have dreamt that. There was monkey messes everywhere. He really hated computer keyboards. There was 3 computer keyboards just bashed. The keys were laying in the floor.
Oh my goodness, the monkey has been safely captured and is now back home. Wow, he got a lot of energy from all that junk food, I think.
Yes, definitely.
But we can all relate wanting to smash our computers
all the time,
right? Okay, we'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off in a moment. First, Craig, what's coming up tonight?
Well, Mijung, we do have a busy night ahead of us. We brought you earlier in the show. There's a new name, the BC Conservative leadership race. Our Martin McMahon sat down with West Vancouver businessman Yuri Fulmer, and we will have details from that entire interview. Also tonight, Vancouver police say an officer is recovering from smoke inhalation after responding to a fire in the downtown east side today. We have details from police on what they believe caused the fire and the status of the 2 people involved. This and much more tonight at 11:30. Mijung?
Okay, great. Thanks, Craig. Finally, Adam finds out the story behind a local stick that is earning international attention. Discovered on Vancouver Island, the piece of driftwood has beaten hundreds of entries worldwide to be crowned Stick of the Year on tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
When Sean Anderson isn't inviting his dog Kai to fetch a stick, he enjoys spinning a staff or lunging with a lightsaber.
I'm a big fan of sticks and appreciator of sticks.
So, when his roommate Marcus Barrick invited him to see this stick he'd happened upon while hiking on Vancouver Island, Sean was stoked.
I was like, wow, you found a really good stick.
Another friend agreed and suggested that Marcus share his stick online.
Like the most majestic piece of driftwood I've ever seen.
And submit this video to the Instagram page, Official Stick Review.
Similar to Antiques Roadshow, so an Antiques Roadshow for sticks.
A co-creator Boone Hogue says Marcus's stick is one of more than 2,500 wonders in wood that he's showcased from more than 120 countries on 7 continents.
I hope it just gives kind of a sense of reverence and accomplishment to the stick.
And that, they thought, was that. Marcus left for a lengthy trip, while Sean stayed home with the stick.
You feel it, it's incredible. It has such a nice balanced weight to it. And then when you start to see the aesthetics, it's just perfect.
Sentiments, it turns out, that were shared by many of Stick Review's 3.8 million followers, who voted for Marcus's stick to beat out more than 100 others from around the world and be crowned Stick of the Year.
Congrats to Vancouver Island for taking home the gold on this one.
The top prize includes this tiny t-shirt for the stick to wear and this big belt for Marcus when he returns home.
And I'm the steward of the stick, so it's quite an honor.
While Sean is ensuring that Kai plays with any other stick but the world's best, Marcus is studying Buddhism around India and says that although his stick has the potential to be wielded as a weapon, is choosing for it to inspire more peaceful pursuits.
Yeah, I guess it should bring more presence and awareness to nature,
He hopes the global attention encourages people to protect and appreciate BC forests and perhaps pause, no matter where you live, to realize the potential of a stick.
So something as mundane as a stick can really bring a lot of joy to people.
Adam Swatsky, CTV News, Duncan.
It's a unique award, but it also brings people outside looking for those individual sticks, right? It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I'm surprised there are 3.8 million people, though, want to look at an Instagram page about sticks.
But really nice stick. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Gorgeous views from Elk Mountain near Chilliwack. Thanks, Peter, for sending this beautiful photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Great view. I haven't heard of that mountain in Elk Mountain.
Elk Mountain.
All right. Okay, thanks for joining us. Craig will be here at 11:30. Good night.